weather. Coming to British Columbia, we're going to see some temperatures down south into the 30s, maybe even up to 35 at some places coming by Friday, but it's all going to be smashed by a cold front, bringing a big thunderstorm pattern. Man, she's going to be a really rumbly week. Lots of things to talk about today. Stay tuned. This is bad news.
This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Wow.
I'll watch the video later.
Feel the heat. I need more blanks. I need water.
Ain't dry mopping this.
This pale blue dot. You lost your keys, and they're somewhere here on this planet. All right, people say lots of stupid things, right? They always say things like, where's global warming now, huh? Because obviously it's been chilly in BC. And, well, look outside your own borders, and maybe you will find that things are still pretty hot down there. In fact, here sitting at, what is it this morning? We're at 10:47 in the morning right now. We're at 34.7 degrees down south. Going to see temperatures in California up into the 40s today again. That continues for them, so extremely sweltering hot conditions in Florida. And this is 3 years to the day since Lytton, BC burned down during the heat dome. And what we're going to see this week, a throwback to that, but not the same thing necessarily. We're going to see some of that heat try to jump north and spread north. It's not going to be very successful. It's not going to last very long because the storms are going to pound it back to the surface. But still, up in the Northwest Territories, up in the Yukon, we're seeing 25 degree temperatures, 28 to 30 degrees up by Norman Wells. That's where fire activity is really crazy right now by Fort Good Hope. Very hot there, so fire weather there. 29 degrees up to the Arctic Ocean pretty much. 24 to 26 degrees right on the ocean at Paulatuk. Kugluktuk maybe getting to 26. Air quality advisory, big time in the central Yukon. Meanwhile, we got a new severe storm watch just issued in BC just a few minutes ago. This is new to me. So that's for Peace region of British Columbia. That's where we expect to see the most action today. I'll show you more about that in a second. And we got severe thunderstorm watches and warnings all through Ontario, special weather statements into Quebec. So here in BC today, nothing too crazy. Up in the Peace, maybe you're going to see some severe storms pop up. 80 kilometer an hour wind gusts could be possible with that. Hail 1 to 2, so maybe up to Nichols. And 25 mils of rain in the center of some of those storms. Sea area around Prince George, you're going to be not too different, but maybe a little less severe likely. And down in the Caribou, you're probably going to see some pops. As we can see this morning, cloudy here in the Wells area, Barkerville area. It's very windy, very blustery here. We do have a little bit of lightning up by north of Pinchy. And so far, 11 a.m., 10:51 a.m., nothing really popping yet up in the Peace. So look forward to that later this afternoon. Here's our severe storms just north of Chapleau, heading up towards Kapuskasing, Smooth Rock Falls in Ontario today. And as you can see, that which is approaching Folliet is a very angry storm. So very angry thunderstorm in there today. So we do catch a gap in the weather. It will come. It will come. And watch, we're going to see what's going to happen to the jet stream this week. It's going to try to let some of that warm air in. Thursday, there he goes, boom, lets it in and then closes the door right away, bam. So we got strong thunderstorms expected next week, Friday. We're going to have the heat's going to build in, then we're going to have that cold front slam in with the storms. That should make conditions windy and whatnot, so I expect some pretty active and wildfire behavior if anything is burning down there in southern BC. We're going to have so much thunderstorms this week in southern British Columbia that is a strong, distinct possibility. Here's where we're headed today. Again, all our action really in the North BC. Got some maybe mesoscale size storms going to be breaking out again in the Northwest Territories, in the Yukon. So continues for you. Strong thunderstorms again in the Peace region today. It's Sunday we're looking at for BC. By 10 a.m. we're going to see our first storms firing. I think one of our targets we really want to look for tomorrow will be down by the U.S. border. Certainly on through the trail, Grand Forks area. These are areas I expect to see some really strong thunderstorm developments. So that is an area for severe that I got on my watch list. Already by 11 a.m., strong thunderstorms mostly breaking out in the United States side, but they will more or less start pushing their way up north. So Colville, into Trail, large storms all through the central, all through the south interior on Sunday. And you aren't alone. That may be one big area that gets rumbling and going. Maybe it'll come together. Maybe it'll make large, like we had in the Caribou this week, what I would call more or less small mesoscale, a large number of storms coming together affecting a large region but acting as one, right? So we saw that today. So expecting tomorrow already 11 a.m. to see thunderstorms starting to pop by Grand Prairie, by Quesnel, Williams Lake. Going to be a little bit warm in the southern interior tomorrow. Not an extreme amount, but enough to get storms firing. And there we see Williams Lake. Look forward to yourselves. Again, Trail, all that southern run of the Kootenays. Looking like you're going to see some thunderstorm action on Sunday. Up into Fort Nelson, Fort Simpson, Faro, Yukon, all the way up to this is a daily thing up there now. I mean, this is unbelievable. There's a few years ago where I started noticing, like, look, there's lightning in the north, and like now there's always lightning. It's doing this every day up there now. Where else on Sunday afternoon? Definitely looking at run up that flank of the Coast Mountains. So maybe Kamloops, Silhouette, 100-mile house. You're looking really good. Williams Lake. This looks pretty good. This looks like a pretty good set. So I expect severe watch probably for that boundary area, probably for parts of the southern interior down there by the Kootenays. Caribou looking like maybe you could see some severe storms. Severe storm watch more likely than not tomorrow on Sunday up into the Pace. And it will play out, and some of these storms will go on into the evening. So there we go. We're getting close to midnight, and there's still a few flashing out there. So look for some overnight flashers, which is always a treat. We haven't seen too much of that this year. Not many storms have. There's not the energy in the middle of the night to keep them firing. 1400 on Monday. Again, we're looking south. We're looking Trail, Cranbrook, Sparwood, Canal Flats, Fernie, Creston, maybe in the Nelson area up to Caslow. I mean, this is like representative of where they might be. Again, we're looking into the north on Monday. Tuesday, you're going to be mostly see that on the east side, I think, of the province, right, as we get into the afternoon. So looking at Rockies for sure down south. And again, the Peace. Just thunderstorms in the Peace every day. Going to be warmer up there. Going to be drier up there. Going to be more lightning up there. If I'm in any kind of planning for wildfire, I got this area still circled. By Thursday, that heat's going to sail in. Vernon, 28. Williams Lake, 26. Prince George, 27. Maybe a little bit of thunderstorm still in the Kootenays. Up into the Northwest Territories Thursday. We're looking far out, so I mean, we don't know. Things change every day as the weather changes the weather, so that's the problem. But we do have shortwave troughing developing on Friday. See this big bend in the isobars. These weird bends, those are almost always the sign of thunderstorm in the summertime. Temperature's going to start bumping up pretty quickly there in the morning on Friday. You know, by 8 a.m., we're looking at maybe 25s, 26s in Vernon. So that extreme heat I've been telling you is down here in the States where they're getting 39s, 35. This is at 9 a.m. This is at 9 a.m. Okay, on next week Friday. That's what's going on, right? So every time someone says, "Where's climate change?" Again, day after day after day, warm on that east side of the Rockies, especially up north, warm into the Northwest Territories. Where's your global warming? You see, it's like this. You can't outsmart reality with simple tricks, you know, and little catchphrases that sound smart. Maybe you can outsmart or fool some foolish humans that don't know much, but you can't outsmart reality. And reality is it's happening, and it's still hot as hell out there somewhere, just not here. So, you know, we don't have a great picture of what happens by Friday. I mean, this is probably going to move around. This could be here or there, you know, somewhere. Maybe this red is on the other side of Prince George. We don't know. You know, this is a long ways out on modeling, and there's many different models. So things that this isn't exactly what to, but this is a good idea what to expect. 31 degrees in Williams Lake. Going to see probably our hottest day of the year on Friday. Going to see some massive thunderstorms break out. I'm sure they're going to be really intense. Looking at the way these short waves are bending on the jet stream. If this is how it does play out, expect wild into the night. Let's just have a little look here on the cave. So what I've done here is I've layered on a whole bunch of models, right? So like every model available to me here on Cave, I have layered on top of each other. This is for hail parameters. Where are we going to see hail coming? And we can basically see how that storm is intending to move into the province and slam in on Sunday. We're going to watch our hail parameters expand. So here we go. Here's some of those storms we were looking at that were down by boundary, down into the Kootenays Sunday. Looking like some blues in there. But up in the here, we're getting a little larger up in the Caribou. And then as we come into the afternoon, what else we got? Ooh. So here we have a spike in hail, pretty much right over the Caribou somewhere. That looks pretty good. Not quite getting to 1. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll see anything as big as dimes necessarily on Sunday. Maybe. Maybe we got multiple models layered on here, and none of them seem real interested in making it large hail. So we're not necessarily looking at large hail, but nonetheless, this is a great sign for severe. This is a great sign for severe on Sunday. Whenever we see hail at all showing up, we know that's where severe storms are most likely to break. That's where the convection is going to be the highest. That's where the most energy is going to be available. And that also includes up into the Peace, up into the far Peace, up in the North Rockies, up into Fort Nelson area on Sunday. And that will move out and push into Alberta. Things are going to really slow down for the central interior through this week, as you see here on hail parameters alone. We see a lot of that moving into Alberta. Strong thunderstorms coming into Alberta as we get further in. But we do catch a fairly nice break, and that's when the heat starts to lob itself in too. Here's fire danger for today, June 29th. And as you can see, the far north is very much on fire. Very much, right? Fort Good Hope, we lost structures up there. We got fires running wild. We've had a helicopter crash. I'm not sure if there was casualties or fatalities or not. I'm sure you can find that out on Google. I just heard today helicopter crash. And I haven't had time to look at the story yet. Extreme fire danger throughout the entire Northwest Territories, throughout the boreal forest. The boreal forest is in fucking trouble, and that's what's going on with climate change. This forest is now too far south for the weather it sees consistently, and it just wants to burn. That's what it's going to do because of the climate is not the same climate that generally would support those trees, right? What they grew, they've been there forever and they've been used to it, and now something has changed just enough that they don't belong there. And you think that, well, that sounds kind of alarmist, but like, no, you see that thing all the time, even right here, you see it all the time. So you're walking on the mountain and you come into a microclimate where you come on this side of the mountain and suddenly it's all balsam there and it's all shady, but then you come along the south side and it's all pines there. And then you come along back to the north side and you just come up high and you're coming into big spruce. Well, that's because small changes in climate affect what kind of trees want to grow and how they're going to survive. But here is my concern for Friday, for sure, that we're going to have low humidity, 24%, and then we got 35 degrees, so we got big time crossover. Then we got some of these winds coming through as well. What do winds look like there? And here's what we're looking at is wind gusts actually on Friday afternoon. That's going to come out of these thunderstorms, right? So you get and ahead of these weather systems. So there's going to be some chances for some strong winds, right? So first we're going to have very dry conditions. We're going to have a system on the coast coming in. It's going to bring in this precipitation, this humidity. Well, what's the humidity going to do when it hits the dry and hot? It's going to go bam-o, right? So I really think that Friday is looking like a big day for severe storms. It's looking like fire activity as well. Anything that's burning is probably going to go for a run if it gets into some of these winds ahead of time, right? So it's these cold fronts that push through, especially if they're dry at all, that we start finding our fire behavior becomes really, really unmanageable, right? So look for those low humidities up north through a lot of this week, but especially down south as you come later into the week. Fire spread. Not looking bad at all for BC, but we can see that change starting to manifest itself in south. And you can see how it gets warmer this week. You can see we got probably some fire weather on Friday from Williams Lake down to Vernon. So do not light a match in the wind that day whatsoever, please. And it will stay still. The south won't really recover much from the rain that comes through, right? So Sunday, look for the strongest storms to first start down in the southern interior. That's a given. Then we're going to see them pop up in the central interior. Certainly Kamloops looking like it's going to get a chance. Really good chance up north tomorrow. Going to be lots of convective available potential energy around the Fort Nelson area. Going to see some strong thunderstorms up there. That's what we're looking at, how we're going to start the week. Then we're going to see southern BC and the Peace sort of continue for a few days while the Caribou looks to be taking a day off. It won't be until we come back into it on Friday where we should see probably a good round, if this low slams in the right way, of potentially very violent thunderstorms slamming into and maybe some active fire weather. Final word or two. Here's my YouTube channel, Joey on the Caribou Weather Dude. Got some cool new videos you can check out. A bunch of storm chasers from across Canada come on my show with Frankie McDonald, Brandon Hauk, Hank Fleistra, Jenny Hagen, people like that, talking about all the tornado chases this week. They were on some great footage. Footage I have of chasing storms, footage I have from being out in the fire line when getting hit by hail and thunderstorms. Lots of cool videos on my channel. Please make sure to come and check out more of my videos. Help me grow the channel by subscribing, leave a comment, share, hit like, become a member, donate something. Thank you, Derek, for $30. I really appreciate that. Derek threw $30 in the donation bin this week. Well, I burned about $30 driving around chasing storms on Wednesday. And all that $30 is gone. If I suddenly would decide I want to go driving tomorrow to go chase some storms and get some footage, I won't have to double think it, because I'm a firefighter. I've not been working. You see what I just been showing you? What I've been showing you is a dead work season for firefighters. So a lot of us are sitting around, and one of the problems that happens when this happens is a lot of guys go, well, shit, I can't make a living doing this, and they go get real jobs. The next fire season comes, and they have real jobs, and they're stuck in them. They can't get it. They can't go fight fire. So we lose talent in years like this, and also we have like a stalling because people are not improving on their skills. They're not getting out there and fire. So obviously we don't want more fires. I'm not saying that, but there's like when the seasons are so out of balance that there's either nothing or there's a lot. It's not a good situation for how I perceive the province's wildfire fighters need to be. We need like steady, active, natural burn seasons. Like the forests are supposed to burn somewhat, and we can go manage that. that just doesn't seem to happen anymore. It's like all or nothing. So I don't know what to tell you. Circle Friday on the calendar, but let's get through Sunday first. Okay, bye for now, everybody. Hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm Joey, only care be with her, dude. Bye.